first of all, I want to define the words social media. We're not talking about square dances. We're not talking about sock hops or parties or proms or debutante balls. Social media, well, Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn, Names, N-A-Y-M-S, Z, I believe. There are lots of organizations online, on the internet, or the interwebs. You can use the Google machine to find them, that are social media. Social media in the sense of connecting people, helping people to socialize, helping people to meet other people. And that's what we've all been talking about, what these gentlemen have all talked about. And I agree with almost everything that they all said. I disagreed with what you said about the bookmarks, just because there was somebody saying that bookmarks, they always fall out. But you can use it to get the peanut butter out between the buttons of your cell phone. So they're good use for bookmarks. No, I like bookmarks, and I like postcards too. Skywriting. Everything they say is true, but I'm going to give you something else, and a word that nobody's mentioned. I'm shocked that nobody's mentioned this word, the blogosphere. Now, you each have been part of the blogosphere at one time or another, whether you realize it or not, if you ever go online on the World Wide Web. The blogosphere is basically a way of describing the mass of people who blog. It's like kind of like the atmosphere on, in cyberspace. And all the things that these guys have said are really, really good ideas. And I think getting to be a bigger part of the blogosphere, there are other ways to do this. And one of the ways to do this is by going to other people's blogs and being part of their conversations. There are lots of people, I mean, boy, I'm sure you guys have noticed, there are lots of people who review stuff online. People have blogs, they have review blogs. Sometimes I think they multiply like rabbits. Every time I look, there's a new review site to review all sorts of things, books, magazines, newspapers. Well, forget newspapers. Newspapers are a tough deal these days, but movies, videos, you name it, music. And if you go to there are several ways of doing this. If you go to the website of an author who does anything like what you do, okay, and see where they're getting reviewed. You can Google, just use the Google to see where an author's books are reviewed. If it's kind of books that you do, or that you think their readers would like your books, then you want to find out who is reviewing their books and try to get involved with blogs as a commenter, or maybe interview somebody who does a nice blog. And in other words, kind of insinuate yourself. This is all very manipulative, I mean, it really is, to be perfectly honest. You're advertising in a way that advertising didn't used to have available to itself. So if you can insinuate yourself into other people's conversations, you can get places where you couldn't necessarily get in another way. Like I say, all their suggestions are very, very good. And I'm particularly shocked to see David Morrell saying these things, because he's a traditional guy and a great writer. And I'm really kind of amazed that, this is what you call being adaptive. There's an old saying, adapt or die. And obviously you've adapted.
Well, thank you for the comment. Adapt or die. That is the case. And
yeah.
Actually, I was very flattered one night. I was sitting down with Barry Eisner, and Barry said, you've been around for a while, and he said most people, this is my 40th year, like you.
Right.
And he said most people by your stage, they're just sort of sitting there. And he
right.
said, if anything, you're trying to get ahead of me, and that's the deal. If you don't move forward, you're done.
Right. Well, of course, Barry Eisler is paranoid when he says you're trying to get ahead of me, or very
so many words.
or very self-absorbed. Well, but that's not the point. The point is that I said this on another panel yesterday that other writers are not your enemy. Actually, they're your friends in many ways. I mean, writers become friends with other writers and with editors and publishers too. But other writers are not your enemy. What's your enemy is obscurity. Cory Doctorow said that, and I said that yesterday, and it's really, I mean, it's just another way of saying what all these guys have said. It's true. You have to distinguish yourself from everyone else, which doesn't mean putting people down. It just means getting yourself noticed. And what I just said about, participating in other people's blogs, commenting on other people's blogs, asking questions, maybe interviewing people online, or doing, I think video blogging is probably a great idea, because what you were saying before, well, actually what you said about going face-to-face, somebody said face-to-face. If you're doing a video blog, people see you. There's a wonderful effect when people see a writer's face. I remember, we have as big a publicity department as we've ever had at Tor. We haven't had any reduction in staffs, but as of today, as far as I know, that's true. But I'm talking to them all the time. But excuse me, just one moment. But one of the things that we've always noticed, and it's just a true thing, that when you can shake somebody's hand or see somebody face to face, their name becomes more meaningful. You see an author's name on a book, and if you've never seen that author, you don't have the same kind of relationship with them as you do when you actually see them. Now, the best thing to do is see somebody up close and personal, but the next best thing is to see them on some medium that shows you them interacting in a real way. It's one thing to see an author's face on a book jacket, but their face doesn't move, so you can see their eyes or how they interact with people, or their hands, excuse me. But so I think video blogging is a really good idea, and any kind of blogging is. But get yourself involved with other people in the blogosphere as well. And I think any way you can do that is a good way. And in addition to tweeting, which is what you do when you use Twitter, there's Tumblr and there's Toaster, and I don't mean making a piece of toast in something that makes it warm and burns it. And there are all sorts of things that are new and happening all the time. So embrace the new, embrace technology. I know it's hard for a lot of people. My mother-in-law got online when she was in her 80s, and her husband, my stepfather-in-law, just could not do that. And it's easy to be afraid of new technology, of new things, of the different, the strange, but it won't hurt you. If it's plugged in correctly, you won't get a shock. And it can be your friend. It can really, really be your friend. And the difference, there's a big difference between television and the internet. Television is a passive medium. The internet is an interactive medium. There's a real big difference between those two things. And if you allow yourself to become part of the internet, be nice, be nice. But if you do, I think it will really help you in your careers.
I'd just like to add the blog idea of Jim's is terrific. And there's another way to do the blog deals too, and that is at the same time that you're looking for reviewers, that you're looking for, shall we say, similar spheres of influence that authors who write in your genre have online, you'll notice that many of these authors also do blog interviews. They'll blog, they're asked by a host of a site to do blog interviews, and our goal is to do 4 a month. Sometimes we do a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but they definitely they make a difference. And they will also expand your reach into other blogs, and you become part of that site because you become what's called the blogger's stable. Normally, if you do a good job on your interview or the little thing they ask you to write, whatever it happens to be, you remain forever in perpetuity, so long as there's an internet. You become part of their site, and you're what they call their featured author. So when somebody comes back to their site a year from now, they can find you. They can find your blog, they can find your bio, the whole 9 yards. So very important and great suggestion. Just that.
Okay, I'm going to make one more comment here before I'm going to open up for questions. These smartphones are probably, to me, this is the most valuable tool I have. It's an iPhone, and when I was on my tour with the Hy-Vee stores, something that my fan base got to looking forward to every day was that picture of my table where they had already set it up, where I said, because I was in a grocery store, and they never know what's going to be next to you when you go to different grocery stores. Like one day say, today you will find me by the string cheese. Okay? You know, they got to looking forward to that. And so it creates a following. And I also, and as easy as it is with these phones, you can flip it over and hold it up like this and use it as a video camera on yourself. And every day, when I got to Hy-Vee, I sat out in the parking lot with the Hy-Vee sign behind me and said, this is where I'm at today. And I put the video, it uploaded instantly on the app for Facebook.
You just want to be careful when you're in the grocery store not to sit in the deli department so they don't say you're chopped liver.
Yeah. Don't say you're next to the Limburger today. That's not a good idea. But anyway, there's so many tools out there, and I'm really glad we had the panel that we had. It's been very informative, and Jim, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you were here.